Pakistan and Afghanistan exchange heavy fire. Dozens of soldiers killed on both sides. October 13th, 2025, Islamabad, Kabul. Intense cross-border clashes erupted along the volatile Durand Line, separating Pakistan and Afghanistan late Saturday, resulting in dozens of soldiers killed on both sides and marking one of the deadliest confrontations between the neighboring countries in recent years. The fighting, which began with Pakistani airstrikes on Afghan territory and escalated into heavy artillery exchanges, has prompted both nations to accuse each other of provocation, while regional powers urge de-escalation. Afghan officials, representing the Taliban-led government, claimed that their forces conducted retaliatory operations overnight, killing 58 Pakistani soldiers and capturing several border posts. A Taliban spokesman described the action as a direct response to alleged Pakistani aggression, stating that the strikes targeted military positions in Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan provinces. Videos circulating on social media appeared to show Afghan fighters advancing and Pakistani troops retreating from forward positions, though the authenticity of the footage remains unverified. In contrast, Pakistan's military, through its Inter-Services Public Relations (ISPR) wing, reported a starkly different toll: 23 Pakistani soldiers killed and 29 injured in the exchanges, with over 200 Taliban fighters and affiliated militants eliminated. The Pakistani army described the Afghan incursion as a terrorist attack and said its forces responded decisively, including with airstrikes on militant hideouts in eastern Afghanistan. Our troops inflicted heavy losses on the aggressors while defending sovereign territory, an ISPR statement read, emphasizing that the operation was aimed at neutralizing threats from across the border. The clashes were triggered by a series of escalatory events. On Friday, Pakistani aircraft reportedly bombed locations in Kabul and Paktika province, causing civilian casualties and drawing sharp condemnation from Afghan authorities. This followed months of simmering tensions over border fencing, refugee deportations, and accusations of harboring militants. The Durand Line, a 19th-century colonial demarcation rejected by many Afghans as illegitimate, has long been a flashpoint, with sporadic skirmishes common but rarely reaching this scale. Eyewitness accounts from the Chaman border crossing in Balochistan described scenes of chaos, with artillery fire lighting up the night sky and locals fleeing to safety. "We heard explosions for hours. It felt like the ground was shaking," said a resident who spoke on condition of anonymity. Pakistan has since sealed the border, halting all trade and pedestrian crossings, exacerbating economic strains in the already fragile region. International reaction has been swift and concerned. Qatar and Saudi Arabia, key mediators in Afghan affairs, issued joint calls for restraint, with Riyadh subtly criticizing cross-border violations while stopping short of direct blame. Peaceful dialogue is the only path forward, a Saudi Foreign Ministry statement said, noting that escalation serves no one's interests. The United States, through its embassy in Islamabad, echoed these sentiments, urging both sides to prioritize stability amid broader regional challenges. Analysts point to deeper geopolitical undercurrents fueling the conflict. Pakistan has long accused the Taliban of failing to curb cross-border militancy, particularly from groups like the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, which has intensified attacks since the Taliban's 2021 takeover in Kabul. Conversely, Afghanistan views Pakistan's border policies, including mass deportations of Afghan refugees, as punitive and sovereignty-violating. This isn't just about the Durand Line, it's about unresolved grievances from decades of proxy wars, said a Kabul-based security expert. As dawn broke on Monday, reports indicated a fragile ceasefire, with both sides recovering bodies and assessing damage. However, unconfirmed social media posts suggested renewed artillery duels in remote areas, raising fears of further escalation. Afghan Foreign Minister Amir Khan Muttaqi, speaking in New Delhi, reiterated his government's commitment to dialogue, but warned of robust defense if provoked. "We stopped operations at the request of our Qatari and Saudi brothers. But our sovereignty is non-negotiable, he said. The human cost of the clashes underscores the fragility of South Asian security. Families on both sides mourn losses, while displaced communities brace for prolonged uncertainty. With Pakistan facing internal unrest, including deadly crackdowns on pro-Palestine protests, and Afghanistan grappling with economic isolation, the border flare-up risks drawing in wider actors. For now, diplomatic channels remain open, but the echoes of gunfire serve as a stark reminder: in this disputed frontier, peace is as porous as the line that divides it.